Well, that's good morning from Hong Kong, and we're up on the top deck looking down on the panels. Got a little bit of sunshine poking through. Even though the controller's not hooked up to the new batteries yet. New batteries should be arriving tomorrow. But these panels look pretty good where they're at. Well, I'm on the top deck, so I'm kind of assessing what I need to do up here. And it's a mess. I've you can see all these cracks. Fiberglass is still intact underneath. It's just that there's a polyester fill over the top of it. And because it was never properly washed and kept clean, it's really dried out the polyester urethane paint. And then again started cracking the polyester fill that they skim over the top to make it nice and smooth. But it's a mess. But what I think I'm going to do, while I wait for batteries and that, is I'm going to attempt this. Oh, look at all, I gotta clean all the old varnish off of these railings as well. Now, I went and I talked to one of the managers at one of the yacht clubs, and they've got some young cadets, and they're kind of interested in boats and hands-on maintenance and stuff like that. And they got this little program that they're doing. So he was thinking about getting some of these young cadets over here that may find their way into being shipwrights, shipbuilders, most likely engineers. Nobody likes the dirty work anymore. Not until you get older like me. But if we get these young cadets over, all these spindles, because what I'm doing is I'm using heat to scrape them off the old varnish, because I want to get it back down to the wood. And I've got all these spindles down here that need to have all the varnish removed, and around here. But this, again, playing with the chemicals, I'd rather not have any young cadets playing with any chemicals, allergic reactions, etc., even though it is just polyester. But we've got, I think this is the one right now that down in the salon down there has actually got a leak through it. So you're gonna have to scrape all of this off, and then once I scrape it all off, I usually kind of go and give it like an 80 grit. Sometimes even a 40, just to scratch it up, and then I'll put a little fiberglass, a little mat down depending on the depth, and then polyester fill over the top of it. But this one's pretty nasty. She got fiberglass is gone, so I'm definitely going to have to fiberglass over the top of it. A little brush with some little resin probably refresh it. But the back here doesn't seem to be too bad. Over here, got a huge one right there. That's missing some wood, but I've got enough scrap teak to fit that in. Because what they do is they've got underneath it, I don't know if you can see it, let me get right down here. What they do is they've got a small little hole, and that's where the water will drain out. I think I'm just going to cut that, just leave it so everything can flow, and then what I'll do is I'll just use a black polyester urethane in there, so it kind of gives that optical illusion. But you want everything to just go out, going underneath the wood. That bottom remains, if the varnish comes off or something like that, the wood is exposed, so you can't see it. And I don't want to have that. I want to make it easily to maintain. So I got another one there. There's one there. There's one there. When I put on a coat and then it rained, so I've got to sand all that down. I had to sand the whole thing down. I kind of scuffed it up when I was putting it on. But instead of using stainless, I found I like to use brass up here on the hinges. Because if you use a 304 stainless, 304 has that little bit of carbon in it, just that little bit of carbon in it. And I don't have 316L hinges, stainless steel hinges available to me, only 304. So I I use the brass. And plus on the old Chinese junk, I mean, it was brass was the thing they used, and then you just use a spray lacquer over the top of it, and that keeps it nice and shiny, at least from my experience. But I've got quite a few to take care of. But this is what I'm going to attempt while I wait for batteries. And it is a mess, but we need to seal up the roof and to continue in a forward momentum of turning this Bigfoot into an off-grid piece of machinery. And a fine piece of machinery. And I did order from a hardware supplier on Appalachia the right width of aluminium that's going to cover up the center channel, and I do have that GE silicone aluminium sealant adhesive that's going to go in between that. That's just made for these solar panels, and I've looked at some of them. You can't even tell the difference in color. I mean, it's an absolute perfect match. Really good stuff. So right now, down on the bow, it's more or less punch list type items where, again, spindles do the side and put in those drains, and then that will be all taken care of, and then just putting on more varnish. Now we move up here, and I take care of this because I've almost been kind of thinking. I was up here yesterday, and where this bimini cover is, I was thinking about using the stainless steel framework and adding a few more supports to it, and just getting it so the solar panels themselves would actually be the roof. No fiberglass or anything like that, but using the stainless. And then if I have the stainless and then an arch that comes back here, and then the two wind turbines, which will be up here. They've got to come in enough so you don't, because the boat's got a rock, and so you don't hit if you go to a pier to pick up any of your guests, or even in a typhoon when we're next to that. It'll be above everybody else, but spinning blades, don't want them to touch another boat, so I need to carefully place them and plan that. But then if I have that stainless, then I've got an area to put my my marine satellite dome, and the TV antenna, FM antenna. So, because overall the goal is up here is to put in a three burner LPG gas grill right here, and have some seating that will go around here. So that way I don't want anybody jumping down on top of the solar panels. I'm not sure what I would do in here, but again, over this would be a horseshoe pit with a table for seating. Actually, probably have two tables, so if it's a horseshoe, so people in the middle can get out. And that would be the seating. And because this is going to be for entertaining, that's the top deck, is the entertaining deck. And plus, when you go out to anchor, you're at a good enough distance. It's a lot of fun to just jump off and jump into the water on a hot summer day. And that's what it's all about. And of course the mast would have to get extended up, because I've got to get my all-round or anchor light. That has to be above the blades of the wind turbine, the absolute maximum height. So I don't know if I'm leaning, but it doesn't look like it's plumb. I think that wood is warped. But then again, it could just be that top piece of wood. Hard to say. But anyway, this is what I'm attempting while we wait for batteries to connect them. Sure reminds me of when I started a month ago up on the bow. Hopefully this takes less than a month to go and fix up. But as you can see, I'm going to be peeling some stuff back. I'm going to be busy up here for a while. Sealing all this up. Taking care of this wood. I think, in fact, some of these I'm going to have to replace. It's not looking good. That one just needs to be re-screwed back together. A lot of it, I mean, it's all good teak. It's all salvageable. And again, the railings are under 1 meter tall, so I don't want to put up a stainless steel rail. See, I like what they've done on that. They've raised up the seating, and then they've got that wood that kind of comes down, so it really doesn't matter. But that's kind of nice. They do have that horseshoe kind of seating around it, but yet they've added stainless steel above to come up from each one to hold that wood that goes down to try to match what's like over here on where it kind of curves down. So that's a good look. I kind of like it. But as you can see, the only way to get up to their fly bridge there, or top deck, is you have to walk straight up the center here, and you come up steps, and then that's how you get to it. Again, we don't have that. That's why I was able to put the solar panels here, because we have our way up is right here. So, okay. Well, anyway, that's the next thing on the to-do list. We've got a couple days where we're going to have some sunshine, and it says that these clouds are going to burn off today. And hopefully if they burn off, then I won't have to worry about that. And I can start putting down the polyester fill, fiberglass, and everything. Alright guys, here is the top deck. Starting on Monday. I don't know, it's today the 8th or something like that. 8th of December. Alright, that's what we're doing. Let's end it on a happy note. Nice solar panels. Alright, be good, be safe, be well. Bye-bye.